teachers and friends. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce 200 hours and 300 hours yoga therapy teacher training course with Vishuddhi Isha Yoga. A lot of information has been given on the website, so obviously you can go and read everything regarding accommodation, meals, schedule, course syllabus, teaching methodology, how we teach this course, what is basically our teaching methodology and teachers. All this information is already there, but my effort and endeavor here is to walk you through with a brief synopsis or the introduction of the 200 hours and 300 hours yoga therapy course for the interested students, all the people who would like to come and join us. And this video is just an effort to make you understand. And also I'm a lead teacher of this course. I'm Pradeep Kumar. So I would give my brief introduction because I have a lot of videos on, we are putting a lot of videos on YouTube and the website where I'm already there. So whatever you see on the website, I teach everything. I teach Ayurveda, I teach yoga. In yoga, I teach all the three main styles that we are offering on Vishuddhi Isha Yoga Retreat and the training school. Yin Yoga, Yoga Therapy and Kundalini Yoga. So if you're interested for other teacher training courses in Yin and Kundalini, then you can watch other videos or go on the relevant web pages. In this I'm going to talk about 200 and 300 hours yoga therapy teacher training course. Being a lead teacher, I would also like to tell you that I'm an experienced yoga therapist, and when I started teaching yoga almost 11 years back, there was no scope of yoga therapy, there was no information and awareness about yoga being used as therapy. But since then, a lot of things have changed, and you see a lot of schools have come up, a lot of people have extended and expanded their knowledge from just being a yoga teacher to a therapeutic side of yoga in healing disorders and curing diseases which otherwise have no cure in the conventional treatments or medicine, which is quite encouraging because eventually these holistic Vedic sciences, yoga and Ayurveda, were founded by the great ancient seers and the yogis to benefit the mankind. And if we can use it for healing and curing people's diseases and disorders, then there could be nothing better than this. However, I strongly feel that approaching therapy in a random and unstructured way could lead to disappointments and also professional setbacks, because it's not easy to heal someone and it's a responsibility. So I would definitely like to put the caution here that if you plan to become a therapist and your inner desire is to heal people through yoga, then please spend some time and years in practicing, learning from good teachers, also deepening your practice. Every single day when you practice, you should be able to feel those asanas, pranayamas and mudras or whatever, all the techniques of yoga. You should be able to go deeper into it and understand anatomy, physiology, how the muscle groups, how the bones and joints and different system, the blood pressure, and the detailed, also, not detailed, but also medical anatomy and physiology. You should study. You should not only study, but also practice it for quite few years so that you can actually feel it within your body, and when you're teaching it to other students, you can also pass it on, that knowledge to others. Having said that, I started my yoga journey almost in my childhood, because I learned from my teachers in my school. Fortunately, yoga was a subject in our school, not a formal subject, but as an extracurricular or a sports activity. However, we had a very good yoga teacher and they really taught us asanas and meditation. We were too young to practice pranayama, but I learned it from my mother, who's also a yoga teacher, not professionally, but by passion and hobby. So being born in a spiritual family, I got ample opportunities to meet different spiritual masters and gurus, and my parents were devotees of different teachers, and they used to come at my home, and that domestic or the family environment really nurtured that kind of spiritual learning that I wasn't seeking, but it came by default because my parents were spiritual. But Everything happens for a reason and there's no coincidence. So obviously I had to come here and the foundation was being laid. Then I formally started learning yoga, and I was always a teacher or trainer, but teaching yoga and Ayurveda and helping people to improve their life, their health, their fitness, mental, emotional, physical health is something that really appealed me a lot, and then uh, I looked really no, I never looked backward since then. So I'm still growing and still learning. I have my teachers from whom I learn, and learning never stops till the end of our life. Coming to this yoga therapy teacher training course, if you are already a yoga teacher, if you have been practicing yoga for probably a year or two minimum, then you are eligible to join this course. However, we have our screening procedure, because we are very selective about our students. We do not take more than 6 or 7 students in our group, and we want the right students to come here. Right in the sense, everybody is right in their own way, but this course has a syllabus, this course has a structure, this course has minimum eligibility, and it is good for everyone, for teachers, for students, because we want to make this course a success. And successful courses happen only when students and teachers are on the same page. So please read more about on the web page regarding that minimum eligibility or the pre-assessment before you join this course. And also, this course is not just about learning newer and newer techniques, because yoga therapy is not a style or separate style or form of yoga. It's a combination of all the styles which help to rejuvenate, replenish and recharge the body, the organs, the system, everything. So do not expect to learn everything right from the scratch, because it's not going to happen. It's basically the foundation styles of this course, or the forms of the yoga styles we can say here is Hatha Yoga, Iyengar, the renowned and great Iyengar. So we have taken some therapeutic techniques from B.K. Iyengar. Then we also teach something from Shivananda. So basically it's a combination of, and of course from Kundalini as well. So it's a combination of different techniques and methods, whatever can be used, wherever or whenever it can be used on a particular case or a patient or a client, we do not hesitate to use it. So obviously this course is not for absolute beginners, because if you're an absolute beginner, then you won't be able to integrate all this knowledge within 4 weeks, and it would be too much for you. So it's my humble advice to the enthusiastic viewers, whomsoever is planning to do this course, please first check your preparation, and you should be through with basics of yoga. I would rather say that if you have already done your teacher training course, or you have already been studying yoga formally or informally, if you haven't done a teacher training course, then it's not a compulsion, but you should have been studying yoga formally and informally, and not just asanas. Because a lot of people in West, I'm not saying all of them, a lot of people in West, they relate yoga only with asana, which is complete wrong knowledge. Asana is a very small aspect of yoga, and there are other methods which are yoga in itself, like pranayama, meditation. There are far-reaching benefits of meditation and pranayama, and a lot of teachers and a lot of people do not realize the importance of its practice. Here, you will be introduced to all the methods equally in a balance. We are not a school where we encourage you to practice only one thing, because yoga is about balance, so you cannot expect to be selective and to be extreme here. So if you want to join us, then keep one thing in mind, that it's a holistic way of teaching and learning. So every day you practice everything. Not everything, because there's too many things, but certain things you have to practice on your own in your free time as well. But then we strive and we try that most important methods in yoga, like pranayama, meditation and asanas and philosophy, you hear everything from the teacher in the discourses. It's all that you are exposed to the practice as well as knowledge every single day whenever we have classes Monday to Friday. Weekends we have off. Uh, we arrange practicals on Saturday normally, and Sundays are absolute off. So this is a amazing and fascinating course. I mean, it's really going to open the gateways for your professional and personal progress. If you're already a teacher, then it can help you to become a therapist. And if you are yoga instructor also, but you have this inclination and interest towards the therapeutic side of yoga, which you want to use for healing, then obviously this would definitely help you to reach there with the passage of time. Um, well, I already mentioned who should join this course. Then next, I would like to talk about what this course comprises of. A little bit about the syllabus and the course content. Well, it's already detailed syllabus in the course content, topic wise is given on the relevant web page, which you can go and read in your free time. But I'm going to point out the most important aspects of it, the course content. See, first of all, this course has two parts. One is the foundation part, which is almost like 10 days, based on the group. Sometimes we finish it in 5 sessions, and if the group is little slow and we have more and we feel that we have to spend another 3 days, then we spend another 3 days. So basically 10 to 12 days is the foundation part. In the foundation part, the core hatha yoga techniques, like official sequence, we have an official therapeutic sequence, yoga therapy sequence in this course, which we will practice every single day. So obviously you will learn by that time, and you already must have practiced before also. So we are not going to give you some strange asanas from nowhere. These are the very core base asanas, their variations, which you are going to learn here. And pranayamas we'll practice every day in the morning. Meditations we'll practice, and slowly and gradually as the course progresses, we learn a lot of other things as well, like mudras, then bandhas, and which are locks. Mudras are psychic and psychic yogic gestures, and of course miscellaneous topics like yogi diet and importance of diet, and how food influences our consciousness. So yoga philosophy is a very important part of this course. Patanjali Yoga Sutras are there, because if you don't understand what is yoga in its true spirit, then I don't think so. Whether we are just a practitioner or a teacher or a therapist, we cannot do justice with it, because the spirit of yoga should be maintained. Like you cannot master any sport without following the rules of the sport. I mean, you can, but it would be called as a street sport, not professional sport. Likewise, if you want to become a professional teacher, then you cannot just do what you like, because there are certain codes of conduct, there are certain disciplinary rules laid by great sage Patanjali in Patanjali Yoga Sutras, which you should definitely strive to learn, and not just learn but also try to apply. It's not easy to try to apply everything, but we can always try what we can and keep moving ahead where we stand. So everything would be there. There's a complete structure and schedule which is on the website. I'm not going to go in those trivial details about day-to-day schedule and all. You're always free to send emails if something is not on the website, if something is not clear. So foundation part, after foundation part, we move to the core therapy part. The core therapy part is almost 2.5 weeks, and most of the course, you can say that 70% of the time we spent on core therapy part, where we study asana methodology, anatomy and physiology. Then we study the therapeutic part, where we are going to look into the different systems and related disorders. So basically we are going to go deeper into different disease and disorders and why they are being caused, what are the symptoms, how yoga approaches it, how it cures it, how it manages it. So basically the most of the course would be dedicated, on 2.5 weeks almost, would be dedicated for this core therapy part, where there are case studies, there are assignments, and those assignments and case studies would be given you time to time in phase, week by week, and your responsibility and your part is to attend all the classes, be sincere and attentive, be open for learning, ask relevant questions respectfully, and also engage in the group learning and individual self-learning in your free time, which would definitely help you to make the most out of this course. Um, we try to teach in this course. I would like to talk a little bit about the teaching methodology. As I said, that Vishuddhi Isha Yoga believes in teaching authentic traditional form of yoga. So obviously you cannot expect us to just keep focusing on one part only. No, you're going to get the equal exposure of all the topics which are in your course, and not just theoretically but also practically. So there are certain techniques for which the demonstration is needed. So obviously that's a practical aspect. So teachers would demonstrate and then they will explain you, and then we practice every day. So you ask questions and the teachers answer the questions, and then we encourage you to practice on your own in the free time, and then you come back. So there is a gradual learning curve which keeps going up if you are attentive and sincere. And then if you apply yourself, then of course you keep understanding everything and you are on the right track. However, if you do not attend classes, if your focus is not there, if you are distracted, you're focusing on trivial issues, you have some other issue going on at the back of it, maybe at your home or in your family, in your relationships or whatever, then of course any distraction would definitely interfere in your learning process here, and which is universal, which would happen anywhere, not just in Vishuddhi Isha Yoga. So we always have guidelines. We do a detailed orientation on the first day of the course. We'll give you all the guidelines. It's already on the web page also, and then people are mature enough to understand what they are heading towards and why they are going there. So if you're clear about your objective, your purpose of coming here, and if you are dedicated to your cause, then of course there's no disappointment, there's no setback. You definitely come out with flying colors in the end. So next thing I would like to touch upon is this course for you? This course is for you if you are serious, dedicated student of yoga. This course is not for you if you're expecting some beach yoga retreat or some commercial yoga school. Then this is not for you, because we do not believe in entertaining you here. No, we are not entertainers. We do not believe in creating events and giving you all those kind of appetite and appetizers, that I'm enjoying. No. See, learning is itself enjoyable, but if you want to learn seriously, you have to be quiet. You have to little bit go away from distractions, and you have to disconnect to the outer world. And especially it's true for studying yoga, because we don't just want you to learn superficially. Because if you are trying to learn superficially, your objective would not be fulfilled. Either your objective is to become a professional teacher, which is going to take its own time. You cannot expect to become a professional teacher in just 1 month of training. A lot of effort is needed, continued education and continued practice for probably a year, 2 or 3, and teaching practice as well, professionally or personally. However, the most important aspect is if you stay focused, then of course you get the most out of it. So if you are serious, dedicated student of yoga and you would want to make your career or profession out of yoga, yes or no, doesn't matter. If you even want to deepen your practice, you want to explore and dive deeper for your own personal transformation, then this course is definitely for you. And I've already mentioned about eligibility in the previous part of this video, which has been running now. So there are certain eligibility criteria which you can go through. What you are expected to do here, you're expected to be sincere, attentive, dedicated to your studies, and respectful to the teachers and your classmates. We work with a small group, so obviously that also helps students and teachers to have a very good relationship, in the sense they can connect with each other, they can share. Learning is not just about in the books, learning is not only in the classes or on your mat. Learning is basically when you move out of your classes and courses, how you behave and interact with people, how that yogic knowledge or wisdom helps you to brighten up your life, different spheres of your life. So that is actual learning, and that's where we want you to go. We want you to take this yoga wisdom and learnings out of the classroom, out of the mat, and then you take it in your life. So when you take it in your life, then it gives you that kind of experience which basically we all want to have through yoga, whether it is good health, good fitness, good sleep, stress-free life, or better stamina, energy level, happiness, whatever, good relationships, whatever it is. Yoga gives us everything. The point is, first we have to give something to yoga. It means it demands a discipline. So if you can follow the discipline, then you should be here, because there would be a discipline. We don't enforce on you, but of course there's a point where we enforce on you, and then also we do not force it on you, because we believe that force is not a word which can be found in a dictionary of yoga. Free will is important, and that's how we learn better. The next thing I would like to talk about is the scope of the course. See, there are two courses, 200 hours and 300 hours. Let me clarify that first of all, this course is not for absolute beginners. If you are a yoga teacher or even a yoga instructor, or if you're not even a yoga instructor, you must have done yoga teacher training or any serious course before. Even if you have not done the serious course, you have been indulging in self-education and practicing in different classes and practicing with different teachers, then definitely this course is for you. But that is for 200 hours. So 200 hours course has its own eligibility, which I've talked about. But 300 hours course is even advanced in the sense that you spend another 2 weeks, almost 12 to 14 days, and doing more case studies, doing more assignments, and you also learn anatomy and physiology at slightly higher level. So obviously you have to move from 200 and then from 200 to additional 100 hours. So whomsoever has finished 200 hours or whomsoever has already have been practicing what they learned in 200 hours, and they are pretty good with it, they are pretty much in flow with it, then they are eligible to go ahead with 300 hours yoga therapy teacher training. Otherwise you have to wait a bit and then first practice and master the skills and then come back. The scope of this course is pretty clear. Depends on individual, because we cannot decide your scope because everybody is different. So if somebody has already been practicing professionally, teaching professionally, had a lot of experience, then that person would get more, quote unquote, I would say more only if they are open. If you come with big baggages and big egos, then probably you won't be able to go further. So I really cannot comment about individual, but if somebody is open and down to earth and pretty focused on the course and learning from teachers as they should learn, then they would learn a lot and they would definitely progress ahead from where they were before. It entirely depends on individual. However, if I have to define the scope of the course being a lead teacher, then I would say that after the end of this course you would be able to instruct a yoga therapy class. In the sense, when I say yoga therapy class, I don't mean that you become a yoga therapist and you can start dealing with different disorders. That's going to take some time, probably months or probably a year or two, based on what you really do in those months and those year or two. But you would be able to teach a Hatha Yoga therapeutic sequence, official sequence in our course, with inclusion and exclusion of asanas, because you would not just learn few asanas, you would learn a lot of other asanas, and most importantly we would focus on the variations, because remember, when you are teaching to a normal healthy student, with flexibility, then probably that student can do the full asana. But when you are teaching to somebody who is having disability or having a limitation or having a lot of pain in that particular part or joint or muscles, then or some injury, then obviously you have to give variations. You can't really expect that person to do the full asana. That is something that's an approach thing. And a lot of people who start teaching a therapy, they face a lot of problem in adjusting to that particular approach from instructor or teacher to therapist, because they have to heal. Now when you do yoga therapy, your prime objective is to heal, cure, to relax, okay, to let that particular part gain the strength, endurance, and flexibility comes. We are not targeting flexibility in yoga therapy. That is one most important thing people need to understand. We are trying to heal, we are trying to reduce the pain, we are trying to increase the strength of that muscle fiber or strands, or we are trying to increase the strength and endurance. So basically the approach is different, and that takes time. So the scope is that you would understand the approach, you would understand your asanas in a therapeutic way, you would understand what Kapalbhati is doing in your body in terms of oxygen saturation or in terms of releasing carbon dioxide or gaseous exchange. So you would also learn the anatomy of and the benefits of pranayama in much more detail than you would have learned in any other normal 200 hours yoga teacher training. Apart from that, you would learn to design sequence of the disorders which we are officially including in our course. We have almost 3 case studies, out of which 1 is mandatory, but you should ideally do 2 or 3. And also we study a lot of other disorders related with different organ systems. We have digestive system, we have cardiovascular system, we have musculoskeletal system. So basically we have 4 systems here. And the one more system which is skipping my mind right now is digestive, musculoskeletal system, and respiratory system, sorry. Yeah, so related disorders would be covered here, and you would try to go into the therapeutic side. What you should be doing to create a sequence for a person who is having a, let's say, bronchitis. What kind of sequence you should create, including pranayama, mudra, meditation, or yoga nidra, or relaxation, asanas, what kind of asanas you should be taking, what kind of variations you should be giving, why. All these things would be explained in detail in case studies. And by the end of this course, you would have an approach, you would have a mindset, okay? You would have teaching instructions, and you would also understand variations of different asanas, easier variation. You would understand how to use the props and the blocks and the support aid, which is very useful sometimes. And there are 2 techniques we teach here. One is to support and guide and adjust people without props and blocks, and other is where you have to use props and blocks. So basically we will learn both the approach. And that would really help you to integrate all this knowledge to heal somebody in the future. It is just a starting. You might not be able to feel confident about going and start healing someone or taking a yoga therapy case for your patient. But this is a foundation. As I said, this course is foundation. This course doesn't make you a therapist, but we all need to start from somewhere. And if we forget our foundation, then definitely our structure is weak and it's going to collapse. So I would like to wrap up this introduction by giving you some information which is quite trivial already on the web page, but still regarding course syllabus. Course syllabus is quite detailed. It is quite exhaustive syllabus than you would find in any other yoga school or teacher training, because it's a therapy teacher training and you are supposed to learn all the techniques and apply them and integrate them to create a yoga therapy sequence for a specific case or a disorder. So be prepared to learn that, and that's why you should do some prior preparation before coming for this course. You should practice asana, you should revise things. If you have done your previous course, you must be having your manuals, or we can also recommend you books on inquiry. If you send us an email inquiry, your teachers can recommend you. You should read that, you should go through all the techniques and methods to the best of your ability before you come here, because that would immensely help us to take you where we want to take you by the end of this course, which is to introduce and you inculcate that therapeutic approach, being a teacher, being a student or a practitioner, so that you can fulfill your learning objective. Accommodations, we have a beautiful beach huts and a beautiful yoga shala right next to the beach, but we also have basic room accommodation, which is slightly 10 to 12 minutes walk, and people with different budgets can opt for different accommodation based on their interest and financial capacity. Our beach accommodation is still very reasonable, and we are on the one of the best beaches of South Goa. It's a yogi beach. It has such a beautiful energy. There's no trash, there's no garbage, and mostly yoga people are here, and it's not touristic. So whether you spend time meditating early in the morning while sunrise or during the sunset, or you practice yoga on the beach, or we have rocks here, we have beach here. It's a small beach but a beautiful one, and I'm sure all the students who have been coming here have been praising a lot about the energy and the time they spend on this beach. So luckily we are here, but you can also be in the basic room and walk down to the beach anytime. It's just a very uncrowded area, no traffic. Meals, we have a beautiful restaurant as well along next to the beach huts, and our meals are vegetarian, organic meals, Indian meals with less spices. So I hope you would, if you visit here or decide to do a course with us or retreat with us, then you would definitely enjoy those meals here, and the chef is amazing, as been told by my previous students. Regarding the exam and evaluation, the most important aspect is, if you have joined this course, doesn't mean by default you earn the certification. You have to basically deserve to earn this certification, in the sense that you don't buy this certification just by joining the course. Joining the course, the fees you pay goes to your accommodation cost, goes to the tuition fee, and of course your boarding and lodging, as I said, course manual, certification cost. So basically you have to earn this certification by successfully completing it in the end, and the course has its own structure, where in the end you have the exam and evaluation, you have case studies, you have assignments, which is also a part of exam and evaluation, final evaluation. Then you have practical exams time to time, which are phased out in different parts of the course, and then you have the final practical, which is a yoga therapy practical case study, which you have to demonstrate in front of the teacher and submit a paper, and the final written exam, which would test your knowledge and understanding of all the concepts and the subjects which you have studied in this teacher training course. And the passing is minimum 50%. So if you pass the course, you would be given this certification, which is accredited to Yoga Alliance International, and which would help you to enhance your credibility, your professional credibility in your future career ahead. So this was my effort to walk you through, with the introduction of 200 hours and 300 hours yoga therapy teacher training. If you have any question, then please feel free to write us an email. You can also book a Skype session with me, and if you have specific questions pertaining to yourself, then I can actually also talk to you one-to-one and help you to clarify your queries and doubts. So if you choose to join us here, we would love to have you here and have this beautiful learning and sharing time. Thanks a lot for watching this video and listening me so patiently. I wish you good luck. Hope to see you here. Thank you. Namaste.